What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Alphaville. We're going back to their sophomore album, Afternoons in Utopia, 1986, and we're up to the title track. I talked about it when we first got to this album, how much I enjoy the odd and interesting semantics of that phrase. You know, Utopia is this all-encompassing and perfect place, at least by the perspective of some. But afternoons, it's a very limited time span, so whether we're talking about just that part of an all-encompassing and permanent utopia, or whether we're saying that utopia only manifests in that limited temporal sense, which would seem to run counter to the idea of a utopia, either rendering of that is really interesting to me. So obviously it could be unrelated to either of those perspectives or angles, but I just really enjoy the phrase, and there's this quirky simplicity to it, the more I think about it, the more I'm not sure where the semantics take it. So yeah, really curious about the title, looking forward to it. I really enjoyed Forever Young, but already I can feel similarities but also some exploration through the first few tracks on this album, so looking forward to seeing the rest of the record, or hearing the rest of the record I should say. So here we go. This is Alphaville, Afternoons in Utopia, from the album of the same name, 1986. Feels pleasant, utopian.
Acrobats and comets floating by so fast. Children's faces smile like suns at last. Like butterflies, you're cruising without fear, all inviting you to stay and rest here.
If only for an afternoon.
For an afternoon in Utopia, we shall stop the wars on those afternoons in Utopia. Mighty moon that drifts across the grass, healing lullabies for Easter time on Mars. Paint your hats and shoes with flowers and with stars, singing in
Paint your hats and choose your flowers.
you can
Like harpsichord.
honeycomb for an afternoon in Utopia. We shall stop the wars on those afternoons in Utopia.
Giving me Vangelis vibes here. It feels baroque in like a couple ways. The harpsichord bit, that little trill.
In Utopia, we shall stop the wars on those afternoons in Utopia. You can hold your crown for an afternoon in Utopia.
These guys are amazing, right?
We shall stop the wars on those afternoons in Utopia. On those afternoons in Utopia.
Marian Gold, I love his voice.
On those afternoons in Utopia.
Interesting end. I do love that end. Yeah, amazing. It does feel like it's maybe about just those moments where maybe just for an afternoon, just for a brief moment in time, you know, there's no war, there's no predation, there's no violence and so on. But again, perhaps recognizing that in the world we live in, you know, in the world of the universe as we've come to know it, you know, the interruption of such brutal forces is often, you know, brief if there's any respite at all. So yeah, ultimately I find the Sonics really compelling. It felt pleasant and bubbly and bright and smooth and joyous. But again, if you're making reference to like maybe, you know, wars not happening and the butterflies can fly without fear of getting eaten and so on, well then like by very implication you're suggesting, you know, there are other times where that doesn't happen. So yeah, perhaps Utopia is it's something that can only come into place or come into existence ephemerally or in terms of a transitory nature. But either way, like I said, I love Marian Gold singing. I enjoyed the Sonics. Again, there was a Baroque or at least early classical period type of feel. The harpsichord. There was that. I think it was a woodwind, perhaps a, you know, a clarinet or an oboe, but it did that trill. I really enjoyed some of the flavors along the way. It felt like a short tune. It felt like maybe 3.5 minutes, something like that. Just over 3, in fact, 3:08. So yeah, a shorter one. But I enjoy that track, and I enjoy using that title and, you know, the tune as the title tune for the album. I think it's just a really good album title. And that was fun hearing this track. And again, maybe couldn't follow it thematically in all its contours, but certainly the sonics of it felt utopian and a brief bit of peace in the world which can otherwise be so violent and brutal. So shout out to Alphaville, shout out to Marian Gold. Do let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.